And so obviously we raced the World Cups for a few years.
Mm,
I never did all of them one one year due to whether it was injury or budget going to Japan or whatever. But when
yeah.
when did you sort of call it a day on racing the World Cups?
I think it was about 2000. I think it was. It might have been even 99. I think I might have done a couple of. No, it's 99. I think. Stop doing them. Yeah, and just I don't know. I was getting not over it. The last rounds that I did, I think I did. We're at Snoqualmie, um,
I never.
and that was a pretty all right little track. It wasn't too bad actually. There was a couple of sections that were where it rained overnight. It washed out a lot of the dirt underneath the roots, and it was literally like a bouncy castle full of roots down this chute,
I
and it
think
was
in the footage.
so sketchy. It was so sketchy. Like I think Sean's Mark broke his neck down it
Yeah.
or something. It was pretty sketchy.
Died first, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. So that was one of them, and I was like, "Fuck, it's getting a bit sketchy now." And even a couple of bits at the top, I think me and Tim rode it in practice, and like it's basically like there was three rock slab drop offs at the top. They're quite big, and then it went 90 degrees and off this like 10-foot sheer drop into a berm. And like we're loving it. Like me and Tim were like, let's get up again and do it again. But we did one lap and then come up for the second, and I think Lopes and Carter were there on the corner with one of the UCI guys and stuff, and they were like, "You have to take this out. This is dangerous," or something. And I'm like, "Nah, out the way!" Like
That's the
what?
best bit.
Loving it. Best bit
Yeah.
of the track. But I think eventually they got taken out when they went around it, around this rock and stuff to go. So I was like, well, it's a bit, yeah, I don't know why they did that, but a few people are having problems with it. But like, I don't know, I suppose because I used to ride sort of that stuff and do stupid drop offs and stuff, they're just used to it.
That was your
Um,
skill set, wasn't it?
yeah. So yeah, that was good. But like, yeah, a couple of bits got taken out. But the worst one for me was Bromont that year. The end of the year, it pissed it down with rain all day, and like
I think
Bromont is literally a rock track.
yeah.
It's like, and we obviously you've ridden them, so you know what they're like. Tioga DH tires, the original ones. Now it's almost like putting like porcelain tires on your bike and then trying to break down a rock, and it's like it's not going to happen.
No.
And like I think in practice, I nearly killed myself about 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
We went to Jeff and Dave back at the old Dave Wooten back at the old Tiger track. I was like, look, I'm going to die if I ride with these tires anymore. And he goes, well, we've got a couple of sets of the blue, was it blue dragons or red dragons and stuff they had,
Yeah.
and they were a lot softer than the original ones. So I had a couple of them put on my bike, and they were actually pretty good.
Right.
Still not great compared to the Michelins and stuff that people were winning on and stuff like.
Yeah.
Um, and I think in qualifying, I snapped my seat off right at the top of the track. So, but I was pretty like I was over it then. Like I was pretty pleased I did, to be fair,
Yeah.
because it wasn't a fun track to ride in the wet and stuff.
No, I think I remember seeing a footage of Gary Houseman in the final. Like I think he qualified top 10 and then he just tried to send it in the rocks and had a
Mm.
man over the bars or something.
Yeah,
But
that rock section's I reckon still it's still one of the gnarliest rock sections I've seen even to date. Like out of all the World Cups.
yeah, I don't think I mean it's hard to say because like nowadays I'm that much more scared than I was back then and I ride a lot
Mm.
slower. But I don't think the tracks have got more technically difficult, have they? They're like they're super fast and there's some big
Mm.
jumps and stuff, but some of the stuff that they used to send us down, technically, they were pretty
Mm.
full on, weren't they?
Oh, for sure. Like yeah, like you say, I don't think they've got. I wouldn't say they've got harder, but
No.
I think it's almost like the same stuff, but because of the bigger wheels and stuff,
Yeah,
you're going a lot faster.
yeah.
because they carry a lot more speed. So the consequence of coming off and slipping out is a lot higher. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't say they're way more technical.
No.
But like, I mean, saying that Val di Sole was a pretty gnarly track.
Yeah, that's
You know,
yeah. And
I mean that back in the day with 26s would probably finish everyone off, wouldn't it? I mean,
yeah, probably would. But you just well, I remember. I don't remember. Do you remember? Did you race at? Yeah, you must have done because we had the Big Bear race in
mm,
'99. No, was
yeah,
it '99? And then we
yeah,
went
99, yeah,
Tahoe. Do you,
Tahoe.
yeah. Do you remember
Uh,
like there was a rock shoot in Tahoe that it was pretty full on. I don't know if you remember it.
that's no, was that Squaw Valley?
Yes.
Squaw Valley, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it went down. Was it? It's pretty gnarly way down. Then it had like a jump about three-quarters of the way down it, didn't it? Like a roller, but you could jump it
Yeah.
over a rock gap into a corner or something.
Yeah, but I remember in the middle there was like a steep bit. I don't know if there was a chicken line or something, but you literally went over this sort of crest and then
Yeah,
down this like real jagged near vertical rock chute into a right hander that had one of them big orange catch.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. That was not far from the start, wasn't it? That was right at the top, pretty much.
Was. Yeah,
Mm,
because yeah, because I remember that year I was riding for that intense Kawasaki team, the UK team,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we had like all green Troy Lee kit and a Troy Lee helmet and stuff. And I
yeah,
think I remember coming into that bit in the final, and I think I can't remember if it was right there, but I think Troy and someone else was stood there, and they like noticed me and gave me a shout or whatever. So I tried to do it super fast, and yeah, I just ended up upside down in that catch netting. Uh,
yeah,
trying to show off, not show off, but trying to, impress somebody that give me a free helmet.
yeah. Need another one after that, though, didn't you?
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
but
But no, it was that was a good track. I really enjoyed that track. I think, and that's another one I was doing all right at, and I bent my pedal. There was one corner you could go high and cut in tight, and I went high, cut in tight, and smacked my pedal on the inside and bent the pedal. So it was like 45 degrees. So when I'm pedaling, my flipping foot's going like sort of real sort of weird angles, and I just couldn't pedal. So I just rolled down. Like didn't I don't think I qualified at that one, which I was a bit sort of gutted at.
yeah, because that was
Um,
you were good at that technical steep stuff, weren't you?
yeah, I quite like that. It was fun, It's sort of like we got shorter stuff that I used to ride that was short and steep, and that sort of reminded me a bit of that.
Sure. Yeah,
So yeah, it was quite good at the time stuff. But I think the Geall as well, the Geall there that time, and the track was really good. Like
yeah,
it was a bit of a sprint out, then you had like a left-handed hip or something dropping into some moguls,
yeah. That's
and
right.
I think like me and Greg were like dicking around at the top and just jumping the moguls all different and stuff, and it was we I think we're the first two to do this sort of like double in the moguls,
Yeah,
and the track felt good. So like I think I can't even remember who I was up against, but the commentator basically sort of said this other guy was going to win basically before it even started, and I was like, right, I'm going to show that bastard. Anyway, sprinted out the gate, out sprinting him out the gate, did the double through the thing, and for some reason it went out the moguls, went right up round a bank and left. And as I went up the bank, somehow it just got all like jackknifed. And I went over the bars.
yeah,
Anyway, this other guy, he hit the back of me, went over the bars as well. But instead of like, I don't know if he did it on purpose or whatever, but sort of went over the bars, but somehow sort of ended up sort of landing on me. So I'm like pinned to the floor, but I still had hold of my bike. So I'm trying to pull my bike out, and he's sort of sitting on me while he gets hold of his bike. And we both get up at the same time. My bars are like 45 degrees, so I'm not stopping to trying to get them straight. So the next straight, I'm sprinting as hard as I can with these bars, like a yacht tiller steering. And like, yeah, he beat me by like half a wheel, and I was gutted. Like that's
yeah.
another one that because that would have been for the quarters. So
remember you going well there. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know why I'm thinking this, but maybe I've seen a photo of it later on, but I swear that might have been Jeff Schofield or something.
Um, I don't think it was because was he
Rottweiler.
Rottweiler?
No, not Rottweiler. Rotec.
Rotec, that was it. Possibly, I don't know. Possibly, it doesn't. I think, yeah, I think I'd know if I heard the name again, but I really can't remember who it was. But yeah, I was gutted that I didn't do well at that one because the Rissy boys and stuff and the Spooky boys have been super sick that week, and like, I just, yeah, it was just that was such a funny trip. Like, there's some good stories on that one as well. Like, yeah, just hustling this guy in one of these bars in with all the spooky lot, and yeah, it's just funny. It's just real funny.
Good stuff. And what did you prefer? Did you prefer the downhill at that point, or the dual, or did you like me? I just kind of like doing both of them.
Yeah, bit of everything really. Like the on a good track, I like the dual. Like if there's some decent jumps or rhythms, then yeah, I did enjoy that quite a lot. But a lot of the time, the World Cup tracks were just really fun to ride. Like really really good. There wasn't. I don't think there was one, well, apart from Bromont, that I wouldn't want to ride again.
Yeah,
Like they were all good fun.
yeah, for sure. I agree.